morning. Welcome to Germ's Workshop. We're going to be working outdoors today. We had some heavy winds this weekend, 35-mile-an-hour gusts that did a number on some of our trees. So we're going to use the chainsaw and an axe, maybe show them boys how to properly use an axe and not cut your leg off. We're going to be safe. We're going to be using heavy boots, gloves, and hearing protection, eye protection, and we're going to cut up a tree that fell down this weekend. So that broke off at the roots, and it's not going to be able to be tied back up or saved or anything. So we'll see you outside. So what we have here is a hatchet. Come here. What you can do with a hatchet is you can split wood or you can clear limbs off. You always want to cut away from yourself, okay? So like that. Okay? Cut away from yourself, alright? You want to try it?
Yeah.
Try to take this limb off right here. Yep. Very good.
Can I touch this one off?
Yeah, try that. Hey, okay, so what you got to know, hold on, let me show you something, because you about cut my leg off. What you got to know is that when you swing this and it goes through, where's it going to go? Right there, or right there, or in your toe. So you got to be careful that you're cutting away from you and somebody else isn't close by whenever you're cutting, okay? Good job, good job.
Can you get that out?
Here, Elliot, can you pull it off? Alright, it's Elliot's turn.
Can I do one more?
Let your brother go, okay? Okay, so you're cutting away from you. Start with that little one first, alright? Hold on, you gotta cut down towards the base. If it's that much done, then you can...
Stripped off.
Down towards the bottom. No. Towards the bottom where it comes out of the tree. Hit a little harder, okay?
Come on, hit super hard. Let's go.
Harder.
Just make a big dip.
There you go. Good job, buddy.
That's like
All right, so before we came over here today, we put a nice edge on this axe. Do you see how sharp that is?
mm-hmm.
So this is just like any other saw or anything in the shop, okay? It doesn't care if it's cutting a tree or your fingers or your legs. So you got to be super, super careful. Declan, I like how you got those heavy-duty gloves on, okay? You should be wearing long pants and heavy boots. See how I got these heavy boots on? And these have reinforced toes. They're not steel toes, but they have reinforced toes. So they'll protect me if this was to slip and go through it. So this is different. You don't use a big axe like this for just clearing limbs off of a branch. This is used for actually cutting down a tree.
This.
Yep, cutting down a tree or a big branch, okay?
Like
so,
this.
yep, so I want you to stand back because I'm going to cut. I'm going to show you how to cut this one off, all right? So when you're cutting, what you want to do, come over here a little bit, please. You want to cut a V, all right? And you don't have to cut it exactly right down at the base, but the closer you cut it to the main trunk, the more leverage you're going to have, the more solid it's going to be, and the less wax you're going to have to take at it, okay? So you'll find out real quick, because this thing probably weighs as much as your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll find out real quick if you swing this, that it'll wear you out real quick, all right? So with this, stand back, please. So I want to cut. I'm gonna swing from here, and I'm gonna aim for right there. Okay.
I That did not take a big bit. That took way bigger. Whoo! Oh! Ooh! Oh!
Okay.
Wait, is there any extra pieces? Like little pieces? I want to keep a little piece.
Okay, back up. So with this axe also, you can use this to cut a whole tree into logs. If you were in the woods and you needed to make firewood for your campfire, you could use this, and it's the same sort of deal, okay? You want to be careful of where you're swinging, and you want to make a V, all right? So watch out.
Holy mother! Mine. Woo! Oh, nice. What? I'm just waiting until he's done. Oh. I'm taking all the big pieces, okay? Oh, there was a big piece that I just chose.
I'll tell you right now, the old guys that used to do this all the time before they had chainsaws, they were in a lot better shape than I am. I don't know how they swung an axe all day long. The timber workers and the woodsmen that used to work out in the woods felling trees all the time. It amazes me to think of the work that they did.
Yep, it's done. Woo!
See that?
Yep. I want to keep some. No!
Hey, just hold on, okay?
I want to get the big pieces. Give me the big. No? Yep, all these four are mine.
Watch out. Declan, watch out. And when you get done, you can store your axe. Why are you standing in front of that?
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, camera. Or people that are watching.
All right, so we're getting ready to cut up the tree, and somebody has to wear Mom's earmuffs, the pink ones. Rock, paper, scissors, boys.
You keep cheating.
So it looks like Elliot's wearing the pink earmuffs. You're the one that didn't
I'm going
stop.
rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And you go rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right, Elliot, get the pink earmuffs on. Go. I never expected the boys to cut completely through the tree with this axe. I just wanted them to see how much it weighs and how hard it was for them to actually cut through and actually swing the axe. This is not a super heavy axe, but it's not light either. So just to give them some perspective.
You just hit.
At this point, we're just trying to cut up the tree into manageable pieces. I also wanted to cut off some smaller pieces to turn on a lathe and see if we could make something for Mom out of this tree. It's a redbud tree, So I don't know how well it will turn on the lathe, but we'll give it a shot. It's important when you're using the saw to make sure you look at the tree and how it's laying. If there's pressure on the bottom of the branch, you want to cut from the bottom, and likewise if there's pressure on the top of the branch, it's going to collapse on your saw. On the bar, you want to cut from the opposite side so that you're cutting through the pressure. Otherwise it'll pinch your bar and then you got to get your saw unstuck. That's just a mess. If limbs are hanging out in the open like this one, it's not a big deal. It just cuts and falls off. But whenever you have pinch points, you got to make sure that you're not going to get your saw stuck in there. I was going to cut that stump off at the base, but I knew we were going to have to pull it out with the garden tractor or something. So I left a little bit of material there so that we could grab onto with a strap, which turned out to be quite an ordeal. I think we broke the strap 2 or 3 times, and it took every bit of horsepower that the garden tractor had to pull that stump out of the ground. So as you can see, a gas-powered chainsaw or even electric chainsaw has made pretty short work of this tree. And it wasn't a huge tree to begin with. It was just a redbud tree. You know, they're flowering tree. They don't get really large. But this is a job that you could easily do with a timber saw or a hand pruning saw. Even an axe if you're feeling really ambitious. But we made quick work of this with just a chainsaw. Important for the longevity of your chain on your saw to make sure that you keep the snout of the bar out of the dirt when you're using the saw. Alright, so that wraps it up for Germ's workshop today. We got that tree cut down and chopped up, got it loaded in the brush trailer. There was a couple things we didn't show you on camera. We went over a couple ways to sharpen axe blades and things like that, right? We talked about bar oil and how important that is for the chainsaw to run properly, and the difference between regular gas and mixed gas and stuff like that, right? We talked about how to clear branches with an axe versus using a chainsaw. And we like to watch some of the wilderness shows like Mountain Men, so these guys know that if you're out in the wilderness and you got an axe like that, you can clear limbs and start yourself a fire, keep warm, cook your food, stuff like that, right? And you can survive out in the wilderness. So as always, stay safe whether you're working inside the shop or outside the shop. no matter what you're doing. And as always, 10 in, 10 out. You still got 10 today?
Mm-hmm.
One of them's broke though, right?
Yes.
All right. Say goodbye, folks.
Goodbye, folks.